There's a bit of a hint that was given off, I feel, at the end of the last chapter, chapter 61, when Natsu was talking about, just increasing temperature, and then while getting fired up, his right fang looks way longer than normal. Way longer than normal. And I discussed that I still think that we need to see further kind of activation and like reasoning behind, like, remember when Natsu's scarf kind of like flared up during the fight with Acnologia, something like that, seeing that again. But I want to see that with current Natsu. I'm hoping his Dragon Force, like if the Fang is an indicator, is going to Dragon Force, that he pushes specific with Dragon Force, because it's still up for like full confirmation. But like with Mercephobia and how he had like seemingly his Aetherius powers clad on top of his Dragon Force, then that big of a boost, being able to stomp a Dragon God, is still like is way far away and too dangerous for Natsu. Obviously, with the whole fact that those flames destroy his own arms, like anywhere those flames touch, it slowly destroys him. But pushing just his Dragon Force on the fight with Alderaan, well, Godseed Alderaan, that I think just getting like a push Dragon Force would be really hype, really cool, and just to see Natsu kind of advance that. Also, I want to see the Fire Horns again. I miss the Fire Horns. I love that. I mean, they're in this one. I thought the Fire Horns were super badass. You don't get to see them as much. Like, you get like kind of parts of it, but where it stands alone and you just have these big flaming horns coming off of Natsu, I want to see that again. I want to see it like kind of like bigger too, and like more evolved, to see what exactly it like looks like now versus compared to what it looked like then. Because obviously, like, Natsu's Dragon Force has to be like way further along now. I mean, he's had that huge push way back then just from that rage boost, but I want to see what he can just use right now on his own through pushing his abilities. But Alderaan, after using the Thicket of Arms, I'm curious to know how many techniques he's going to display in this fight, because the Godseed, I can see Godseed being defeated. I don't think they're going to beat the main body Alderaan. I think that was part of the reason why it was like, oh yeah, when each of the other Godseeds are destroyed, that the Godseed version gets weaker. So I still think that makes sense. And then it's like, oh well, maybe the Godseed avatar of Alderaan takes longer for him to regrow his Godseeds, or maybe after. Maybe after like the Godseed version is gone, he's gonna either not be able to summon them anymore or have to grow entirely new ones, maybe with a different appearance. I don't know. I think that'd be really cool. Like maybe like once you defeat like the head one, that whole set is gone. So it'd be like he can make more, but they won't be the same. They'll be like entirely new ones with different abilities. I don't know. I think that'd be really badass to have just an Alderaan trait. Either way, I'm wondering how many techniques he's gonna show besides Thicket of Arms. Like if he's gonna have a couple other cool spell moves. I mean, I don't think he really needs to. Like, he can just be a straight brawler while having, his Thicket of Arms go off, and I'd be perfectly okay with that. I'd be 100% okay with that if it came down to, like, what the rest of his Godseed version fight was. As long as it was badass. I really want to see this fight. And I was hyped from it beforehand, just from the idea of it. But, obviously Natsu fighting a Dragon Seed or Dragon God's avatar in this thing, as he calls it, Godseed. But dragon on dragon fights in Fairy Tail are always very brutal. And when you get fights kind of like in it, any of the other Godseed ones, it's more about like, how can I figure out a way around this, my opponent's OP hacks. And, a lot of them tend to be like kind of traditional casters, so they don't have high durability. And once you get that big attack in, they're easy to defeat. But dragons and dragon slayers have always been displayed as being extremely durable. I think their durability is their biggest stat, like the most frequent thing when it comes to Dragon Slayers especially. The only one that would be kind of an exception would be Kyria, because she's centered on straight offensive capability, whereas like Madmol having less offensive capability, because him focusing on just straight durability would make sense to me. But I'm seeing the next chapter like just a continuation of the fight. I'm hoping for Natsu, like, further dragon push. Like, I want to see, like, a horn. If he doesn't have a flaming horn, I want to see an actual horn, like he has in his, the version we saw in Dragon Cry. I think that would be really badass to see. I want to see just kind of, like, this dragon showdown. It's, like, the big basis of this fight and where I want this to kind of, like, kind of be trending towards. Kind of just be leading into is Natsu as a part dragon versus the Godseed Alderaan, and As well as I'm hoping we can get some more hints on Alderaan's backstory, because we know a bunch of chunks of it, but there's still like the encounter with Acnologia that we don't know anything about, and I really want to see Dragon God flashbacks of just what it was like for them to experience Acnologia. That's something that I really want, and I'm hoping I can get that in the next chapter. So, you know, chalk that up there on, and I'm trying to think of anything else I might kind of want to happen when it comes to this arc. I'm not really too sure, because Godchill shrunk down, you know, Diablos left. I really only see this fight being the big focus, and we're at 61. I'm hoping we get another 2 chapters out of this fight before it ends, and then we get to, you know, setting up for, you know, whatever arc's next. I still don't think they're going to beat Main Body Alderaan. I don't think they're going to beat him, just because if they defeat him now, I feel like it would kind of like make the Dragon Gods feel really weird. Because obviously, like, Merciphobia's fight wasn't too long, and like once Natsu got that boost and stomped him, it was like, yeah, that wasn't nearly as hard as you'd think it was, but it's really just because of that absurd boost and outside interference with Ignia, which the guild doesn't have here. So we'll see. We'll see where things go. I'm gonna wrap it up right now. I'm gonna put this video up, and then like I'm gonna stream the Fairy Tail game in a bit for a couple hours, and then we'll see. Where I'm right at the part where they're getting ready for the Grand Magic game, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to have those fights and see what abilities and everything I unlock. Because, you know, pre Grand Magic Games means I'm going to be going into it, like, right at... Think about, like, the Grand Magic Games point of, like, during that, like, characters had all these new abilities they hadn't shown off yet that they got from their training, and that's essentially what I'm going to be doing in the game. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. But anyway, other than that, I'll comment below. Tell me your thoughts on my predictions, and is there anything you really want to see come up next chapter? The only other thing, actually, let me just add, because I'm going to add this in every video until we get it, is the White Witch's name. I want either to get her name or for her to get a name that we can refer to instead of just the White Witch or the White Wizard. I think White Witch sounds better. But yeah, that's just one thing I really want in there. Once we get it, I'll be so relieved when it comes to her character. Everything after that, I'm fine with waiting, but I want to know her name. But anyway, yeah, other than that, comment below, thumbs up, from the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. Further than that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.